And I had calls from his classmates, wish we had his brain.
Wow.
Because there is something called pitch perfect, which only 1 in a million have. And my son had that.
Oh.
So they used to use that of his to teach other children.
And we see what are the things which a child is interested in and can do it beautifully. See, having interest and then having that skill to do up to different things. So, and there we can fit in, and accordingly, we proceed to provide them with this training.
His talent, he's very good at music. He was non-verbal, and today he's a singer. Yeah, so he was non-verbal, and but again, he's non-verbal at 3. Today he's an accomplished singer.
So inclusion is one thing which I am looking forward to in next 10 years. I feel inclusion happens in loop. The first loop is a family loop. We have crossed that. There was a time when people used to feel shy to take these children out. But now we see these children everywhere. We see them in malls, we see them in hotels and theatres. So we have crossed that loop. Now the second loop is school loop, where we are seeing inclusion is happening. Mainstream children are completing their 12th standard. Inclusion in postgraduate level, graduation level, that is also happening. As I shared, 2-3 of my kids are doing. Now our job is to include them into workplace, to include them into the society. Then the word inclusion has a real meaning.
The director of the department asked, what does he do? And I said, no, he is a special child. He's a gifted boy, and looking at any correspondence. And he said, why correspondence? I said, he's never been to a college or anything. He knew to write his fate.
Oh.
When the form knew there were 12 languages. Then he didn't write in all the languages. He wrote in all the languages.
So he knows 12 languages.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So he writes in all the languages. We basically get him here. And that journey was beautiful.
So today, here we have with us our professional and our parent is what makes the Dolly Show unique. So yes, here we have with us our professional who is Pranjali ma'am. She's an occupational therapist. And we have our parent who is Mrs. Gowri, and she is a parent professional. So I welcome you both to the Dolly Show today. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay, so yes, here we start our questions and a lot of answers that I am expecting from y'all. So yes, my first question, ma'am, to you would be, you have your Little Heart Learning Center, which is a special needs school for children on the autism spectrum and other neurodiverse children as well. So yes, we would love to know about that. What is your setup and how do you all work?
Yeah. So we have this very beautiful setup, as you mentioned. So basically the approach over there, what we follow mostly is an academic approach as well as clinical approach. When we talk about academic approach, we work in close coordination with teachers. So what difficulty teacher is facing with the child in the classroom, we do address that. And when we talk about clinical approach, when we meet parents, they have certain issues at home, so we entertain that over there. In Little Hearts, there are two models which we follow, as I said, academic model and clinical model. We have pull-in and pull-out sessions. Pull-in sessions are those sessions where an occupational therapist goes inside the classroom when the class is going on and provide therapeutic intervention. And pull-out sessions are those when we take child out from the classroom to provide one-on-one individual therapy and, if required, group therapy. So there are two kinds of session which child gets over there. And then when child comes for the first time, we do our comprehensive assessment and we do a detailed daily routine we take from parents. And I think being an occupational therapist, this is one of the most important thing which we do, taking a detailed daily routine of the child. Then I do my assessment like sensory profiles and whatever tests are required. And then I come to my goal. Then there is a teacher who does observe the child and she forms her IEP. Then all three of us sit together, the parent, the teacher, and the therapist. And then we form our common goals. Like we ask, the first preference is to parent as to what exactly they want us to do. And then definitely we are professionals in our field, so we try to make them understand why sensory integration is very much important, why we should do it first, and then why academic learning, yeah, why both of them together for this particular child. And it is highly individualized therapy program and treatment which we offer.
Fantastic. I mean, we have a lot of parents who come with us with the same questions, same things that you are catering to. So beautiful and such amazing work that y'all are doing. Highly, highly, highly appreciated. So, yes, Gauri ma'am, I would love to know your journey, where you started and your child, and how have you now got into the profession, as in you are an special educator. So, yes, how did you get into the profession?
As well, I'm a parent to Ramnath, who is 29 today. I've got a daughter who's younger than him, and I've got two lovely children. And he was diagnosed way back in 1998. And I was abroad, and I had fortunately had access to one of the renowned psychologists, Dr. Onita Nakra. She's a very renowned psychologist. And I remember the day, it was our New Year's Day, and when I went, and it was my father who had spotted this, that he is different. And he said, no, there's something different in him. And back then we only knew different. And back then there were children who spoke late, and they all just grew up naturally. And when I took him to the psychologist, she said, congratulations, he has autism. And I said, what is that? What is autism? And she said, you will learn when he grows. And this is a report. So I went home and I opened the dictionary and I read about autism. Oxford, neurological disorder. But it didn't sink in me, honestly. It didn't sink in me. Because, he was a bubbly baby running around and playing and all that. And he liked TV and he liked music. I felt it was very natural. But then when my daughter was growing, I saw that she was more focused and, she was sitting in a long time and she was engaging herself, which was not there here, or maybe there was over-engagement. Yeah. Well, that is when the journey started, and exploring places, school hopping, which is a major challenge for us. Back then, I remember, they have the sensory, which she's saying sensory. Everything was Latin and Greek for us then. Today, it is such a common word, sensory awareness and all that. Back in sensory challenge, what is challenge? Yeah. So I remember this incident very vividly in my house, where my daughter went and picked up a ball, and I had kept a diya under the chair so that, he doesn't go. And he went there and he got burnt. He didn't cry. He didn't cry. And these were signals that, there is something inside which we need to figure out and discover. And it's been a long road. We had access to workshops then. And that is where my learning on how to manage autism started. And every year, like all of us get upgraded, new technologies emerged, new learning emerged, and everything is like compartmentalized. The sensory, the visual, the auditory, everything is like, to colloquially put in, a Rajasthani thali.
So well said.
Yes.
Justice. So our job as a parent, with the help of such professionals, is to integrate all that, align, and provide a platform for these children to be comfortable in their learning zone.
Correct.
And each child, each adult today, each one of us, like all of us, we're all different. They're also different with specific needs, specific challenges. And today, it has been a very, very, very difficult journey. But we call them people with determination. But as a parent, I would say they have the determination to learn. And if it was not for my son's determination, we can do whatever we want. But then we need to recognize that determination in them, for which, it's not an easy road for them. I remember him getting rejected in a school. They said, sorry, he's autism and he cannot be taken. So he went to the car and he asked me, was I rejected because of autism?
Oh.
These things seep in them emotionally. They're just not able to articulate it like all of us. And there was a school where they had books on autism at the back, psychology and all that. He went out. I said, what happened? You were asked some questions. He said, no, they're going to reject me. There is an autism book there.
Oh, he had that in his...
They've experienced that. Very few places, but one thing I should acknowledge as a contribution by Godrej. Vikroli Godrej?
Yeah.
The best school in Bombay.
Oh.
Is it?
Because they had no books, no pencils, nothing, no paper. It was a paperless platform. And Dr. Vinay Farchoga, they just took him. They said, just leave him. And he bloomed there. Of course, then I shifted abroad and he was in a special school. So there was a combination of mainstream and special schools, which he attended as he grew up. And today he's graduated from Xavier's.
My God.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful.
And he travels by the local train.
Wow.
Yes.
Good.
He still has challenges, of course.
Yes, definitely.
It's not that everything is over. He still has challenges. And I was discussing that with Pranjali ma'am. I think all of us need help
Yes.
at different stages.
Yes.
And so do these kids and adults. And I think if you look at it openly, that, okay, they're just like us. They also have challenges. That mindset shift can make a huge difference in this space.
Fantastic. What a journey. And yes, out of whatever you've said, I have a lot of other questions as well, which I will come back to you. So yes, Pranjali ma'am, in regards to your school setup. So a lot of parents come to us. We get a lot of calls as well, saying that our children are on the spectrum, but when they go in, as ma'am said, when they go in for admission, there are a lot of schools that reject. So why is that, and how do we overcome this, and have we moved across further, or how is the situation currently?
Currently, I feel the situation is much, much better. Though there are certain issues, but if the parent is guided properly as to which school to approach in their vicinity, in their area, are there any inclusive schools? And I'll tell you, mainstream school won't object to the admission and acceptance unless the child is disturbing the class, if child is hurting himself or he is hurting someone else. So these are the three things. If we assure the school and take care, okay, this is so and so child, he has some limitations, he has some behavioral issues, but these issues we will take care. And if we can provide a shadow teacher in a mainstream school, shadow teacher along with the child, so that she caters to all the difficulties and the lectures are going smoothly, then school is not bothered.
Okay. So you mean to say the parent has to keep the shadow teacher?
Either the school has such a setup where they have a tie-up with shadow teachers, and obviously parent won't mind and they will agree to pay. Or if parent from their side, because sometimes children take time to get along, to develop a rapport with the shadow teacher. So if they provide all the details, there are schools. I am talking about a CBSE school, which is a mainstream school. There are autistic children who are doing, and I can very proudly tell you there are 3 of my children. One of them is into triple IIT, doing his engineering. One of them is gone to BSc, and one of them is just cleared his 12 from the same school. So there are schools. Gone are the days, 20 years back when I started practicing, we literally used to write letters to principals, to the school, requesting them, telling them about the condition, what are his challenges, how well we can do, and we have to request them, we have to go them in person and meet. But now the scenario has definitely changed a lot. Only thing is, they need to be aware of which school to approach.
Okay. And how aware do you think are these schools and the teachers now? Because see, for them, again, autism is as when we got to know that, we didn't know what is autism. So for them now, do you think they know what is autism and how to cater these children?
Yeah, these because there are certain lectures. Fortunately, I was working in one of the mainstream school very early, and during that time, what I observed, it was at that time it was not an inclusive school, but the principal was very keen on learning new things. So she recognized that in a class of 30 children, there are 2 or 3 children who need special attention, and why they need this. So at that point of time, they were not able to understand. But then they asked me, "Can you come and just observe in this classroom? There are so many children." And then when I started observing, we send them to proper channels where they can get diagnosed. Of course, that was a big challenge for parents to accept that well, my child is studying in a mainstream school and you think they have got any problem. But then these issues were communicated well and then discussed. So I am saying that there are schools who are receptive and even teachers. So this teacher, she ran a program. Before school starts, they have some lectures for orientation of teachers. They do teachers training before starting each curriculum. So this topic were included. If there are special children, what you should do. If there is an autistic children, what are the strategies what teachers should follow. And I think in most of the government schools and even in private school, they are following this.
Fantastic. Good to learn. Good to know, because we have encountered a lot of parents who come in and say that all this is not there. So in schools, so they have to say that, a lot of schools do not give all this information to the teachers. So then how will they learn? So good to know that yes, it is being put into practice. Excellent. So yes, ma'am. In regards to this same question, I would love you to, give us a little more information. At that point of time, you had to go through this hassle. Your child was rejected in certain schools. So how did you face that challenge, and how did you?
When you spoke of schools, and now looking at the current kind of services which are available in mainstream schools, now when I reflect back, they didn't have the resources. So, compassion is one. I mean, every teacher is compassionate, but they need to be equipped on how to handle the child, what to do. And she rightly mentioned that this kind of training, even to this day, is not given in many schools. Not in many schools. There are schools. Yeah. You have Cambridge International and quite a few schools where today it's mandatory to accommodate them, to mandatory to, follow inclusivity. But there again, you don't blame the institution. They take in whom they can manage. Because here it is not blaming the system. It is important that the child is ready for the system. So you have school readiness programs for kids with autism who are kind of functionally better, and transition is not easy, but then adaptability comes over a period of time. So there is something called, the training for the teachers and training for the students as well. So we have had students from mainstream who've come to us, whom we have trained and given them a program, and then they have transitioned back to the mainstream. But yes, there are these students who are not ready for the system. That is when our school, has this holistic approach, and we have the curriculum which a mainstream follows. But then the difference is we teach them the way they learn. They have learning styles, and that is where we are different from the mainstream.
Okay, that gets me to another question. What do you think? For these children, I have encountered a lot of parents, because of all these hassles, they do homeschooling. Because children, yeah, as we always say, every child is different on the spectrum. So some children are, more comfortable with the homeschooling system, and some get into this mainstream. So what are your views and thoughts about it?
I will say they are the two sides of coin. It is good and bad. Good in terms we are able to educate the child, or he is able to understand, read, write, whatever academic goals that is there. But what about social integration? What about he interacting with his peers? What about he when he will go out in real situation, in real time and work? You cannot keep him, you cannot make workshop or a workplace at his home to let him work. So ultimately he has to come out in society and work. And I feel what I feel is there should be a place, like she said, there is a school where there is a special school also and a mainstream school also. The day he is not well, the day his systems are down, we take him there. He's learning. And there is no discrimination. We are going to school. There is no special school. There is no mainstream school. The child is going to school. That should be the approach.
Good, nice to know. So yes, ma'am, I would love to know about the online assessment. How does that work?
So my first encounter with online assessment and teletherapy was during COVID. Yeah, that was the first time even I realized, oh, such a thing exists and we can work this way. And I was very fortunate enough to get a chance. We did a project called as Project Noor, which was done by Noor people and occupational therapist Mrs. Rangawala. I went into that project through her. And this project's aim was to study the effectiveness of therapy through teletherapy mode. And they were studying, the aim of this study was to see the sustainability and can we replicate this model in other parts. And we did this in collaboration with Kashi Jharia, a place called Kashi Jharia in Jharkhand, with underprivileged kids. So the whole idea was like we were a team of therapists, few occupational therapists, physiotherapists, speech therapists, special educators. We were connecting online with these kids for 3 months, twice in a week. And each one of us were allotted 5 kids. And then there were what they call as Anganwadi workers. We took a brief sessions with them for initial 1 week, 10 days, taught them how to handle. And we were doing the session online. So first preliminary evaluations were done by them. And then later on we took on for the therapy part. So this therapy used to go online. And by the, in between, after 1.5 months, we did one assessment. And after completing this project, we did another assessment. And the results were very, very good. And this project's paper was presented even in US. And the same recommendations are given to Government of India to replicate a model where there are no services involved. And then even I do private patients. So what happens is friend's friend call. We heard you are an occupational therapist. Can you just do an assessment and just provide us with a home program, what we can do here, because there are no good therapy services over here. So I thought, why not? And during that time, it was better to do something than doing nothing.
Exactly.
And then when we were doing this program, it was so beautiful to observe these children when it was a complete lockdown. We were into the homes of these underprivileged children where there are no SI equipment, no therapy ball, no nothing, but still you have to do the therapy. And it was so beautiful to see the uneducated father who's a rickshaw driver helping in therapy. Then we did an adaptive device so that a child should be able to sit and do. And it really worked. So the end results were quite shocking. And yes, I believe the online assessment is good. And sometimes I feel it is better. Because what happens, if I am doing in-person evaluation, sometimes there is a blink and miss. Suppose parent is telling me something and the child is sitting next doing assessment and I am noting down something, I might have missed this. But when I record these sessions, yes, I can re-see them, and while writing reports, I can be doubly sure that, okay, whatever I am forming my hypothesis to form my intervention, this is better. So I feel this is going to be big and to be better and is going to be the future. Teletherapy is going to be the future of therapy.
Fantastic. So have you continued it?
No, this project is stopped. That was a 3 months project. So this project is stopped and we have got the results. And yeah, but then that gave me confidence that we can do online assessments. We can do teletherapy. I have my certain reservations because when I am delivering therapy, and at that time, if the child who is on spectrum is not ready to receive, then I have to disconnect. So therapy wise, I don't know, but assessment, yes, definitely.
Fantastic insights. Fantastic. Yes, ma'am. Coming back to you, I would really love to know about your mindfulness that you practice
Yeah.
with children.
So basically, a parent's journey in the spectrum is not easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Every day is a new challenge. Some days are beautiful. And we get up to work today. Like, everything is so beautiful. And suddenly we have this kind of meltdowns by children. We call them meltdowns. And it's a hard day. And it drains. It drains you. And each child is different again. And at one point of time, I felt, what about our health? We had to prepare ourselves for that. And I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner. And I got this opportunity to learn. And honestly, I've learned enough of autism. I went abroad, learned. And what I realized was management. And so I would call myself an autism management expert. That's because then again, it's a fingertip. Okay, today is this has happened before. You immediately know what next to do. So that what next is very important. What
Correct.
next? So for which then when I got this opportunity to, do this coaching program, it was beautiful. And I felt it is applicable to everybody and it is going to be of great benefit for these children. Yeah, so in my adult wing, we have this two. Udan is our adult wing, and where we have the adults aging from 16 to 30, and I wanted them to enjoy learning. One thing I don't like is timetable.
Correct.
We've done that in school, and how this perspective mind changed was I went to Rishikesh, and I visited an alternative school. It is beautiful. See, I continuously travel. I've been to the Rishi Valley schools and all that. I explore schools to see what can be a happy environment for a child. Is it a timetable? 9 to 9:30 this, 10 to 10:30 this. And I'm sure in our school days, I never wanted to be in that Hindi period. So I found Hindi very challenging. And I would pray the teacher's absent.
We've gone through this all of us at once.
And here, every day, whether they like it or no, they have to do it. And then you see them not participating. And we have to write down. Today's session was,
Had to be
they want to avoid it. So they resist. And we're forcing them. I said, no, let us change this methodology. So that is when we started doing a student-centric schedule. So, okay, so you like this, you like this, you like this. So in this school, what is it like? There is a music school, there is a music class, there's an art class. So they ask, what do you want to start your day with? So they say, we want to do art. Okay, now go and just
beautiful.
Wonderful
see,
concept.
the day has to be productive. We want the students delivering their best.
Perfect.
So why do we have to give them their chair and say, sit down,
Yes.
do this, do this? No. So what we do in our school now is I do mindfulness. I say, come on, we do this. And they scream and they enjoy it.
Wow, I'm getting goosebumps.
They are ready to learn. So I tell the teachers, when they are ready to learn, you go all out there, you're ready to receive everything. But I tell my teachers, don't say do this. Then you can expect the worst. If they love it, they do it. If that's something which is not their cup of tea, you can expect disaster. And then you will say behavior modification. Then this. Not required.
Yeah.
Go through them. Let them choose what they want. Don't force. And it's a beautiful day for them. Their ultimate is they deliver, they learn.
Exactly.
And why are we a special school? Because it's unstructured. Though we do follow structure, it's not that it's totally open and they do what they want, but there is adaptability. Today, like she said, today you don't want to do this, fine, you do something
Let's do
else.
something else.
See, because most of them are in medication. See, we take a cough syrup and we're off for 2 days, right?
Correct.
They are on medication. Most of the children have medical issues. So we can't expect the best out of them.
Correct.
Yeah. And we're really very lucky to have this team of teachers who's so patient.
Correct.
Honestly, darling,
Yes.
it's
Very hardworking.
Not many
Very
want to enter this profession today.
Correct.
Yeah. But really, thanks to my team who continuously learn. And I believe we are not teachers. They make us better teachers. If we have grown, we have learned, it is thanks to those students.
Correct.
I'm sure you agree. Yeah. So every day, like they say, then I give it as a suspense. What are we learning today is what my students ask. Instead of me saying we're going to do this, they are waiting with their eyes. And it's a beautiful session. And I feel this, if it is practiced, you will see happy children.
Which is so important.
And we do the AV method. I don't believe in paper learning. I say let it be hands-on. So we are basically on skill sets, skill building, where we enhance communication. Because like rightly said, the social development is very important. Very important. When my son was in Godrej, he had social challenges. For me, getting marks in English,
Correct.
it's unimportant. They are living in a society. And we need to provide that learning platform for them for adapting, which is such a challenge. Which is a challenge. I remember I used to travel 100 kilometers to a school where they took him for music. All he had to do was stand in the line for half an hour. But that was the learning. That was the learning. Nursery rhyme, stand in the line. And I used to get back home. Because for them, it is step by step. You can't throw them in. Step by step. Like she said, goal setting. This. And each goal requires a different environment.
I agree.
Every environment. Some students, like we have this student who has a huge sensory challenge with sound. So we could not keep him when they were dancing. So we would take him into another room and give him some artwork. But students who enjoy music, they were given there. And here this child goes to his zone where he's happy. So that is why we adopt a very flexible system to make learning an enjoyable experience. And again, not every day is the same. But then, this is our kind of system.
Fantastic.
And I tell the boy who loves cooking, I say, why don't you get me a tea? So he's happy to get out of his chair. He'll say, okay, do this, and chai. Don't we take breaks?
Yeah, we do.
That's what we give them through their learning. We don't tell them take a break and go. We give them some tasks.
Some tasks.
Okay, do this.
Sensory break.
And in the bargain, they learn.
They learn.
Beautiful. Very positive approach is what you can call it.
Child-centric.
Child-centric,
Yes.
Where they experience positive learning.
Beautiful.
If a child smiles,
There's nothing
Yes.
like it.
there's
That's
nothing
the
like
goal.
there's nothing like it. And some days, even if they don't do anything, it's fine.
Fine.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's rejuvenating for them. They'll say, wow, they will feel that inside them that they've had a good day.
Exactly.
Some days we take a break, like we don't want to do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So some days we just let them be, and the next day they're ready to
They're
learn.
ready. They're ready.
So that's how
Wow.
I approach learning,
This way.
and I think different. And I think if this is adopted,
Yes.
like just today morning also, I was reading, I was seeing the school in China and Japan, kindergarten, where they are cooking, where they are doing carpentry, and here we are still curriculum focused, still alphabet 26, phonics, reading,
English,
But,
history,
no.
geography. I don't know what all.
Yeah, so
subjects
I
that we
think,
have to go through.
so it's my dream to have an alternative school.
Yes.
Excellent. And I wish and I pray that happens.
Thank you so much. And we'll have a
Beautiful.
podcast for that also.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
What I would love to know, and I think the audience also would love to know, is you plan a specific diet according to the children's needs. You plan specific therapies for children. How do you go about that? And also about how do you plan the home program?
Okay.
So let's discuss that.
So, first, sensory diet. Let me tell you, this is highly individualistic. No two diets can be together. So, once an assessment is done, and if we feel this child needs a sensory diet, depending upon his sensory system, he needs to relax, he's not receptive. So, we need to create a foundation. For any learning to happen, there has to be a foundation. Child has to sensorily integrate all the senses and then function. This is what sensory integration is. It is nothing but to integrate all the sensations together and then respond better and adaptively. So, if such a child who is not able to integrate the sensation which is important for learning, we provide sensory diet. And in other words, we can say if child is not available for learning, we try to provide them that foundation which will help him in learning. So we choose these activities. And these activities should have certain things. First, it is child based. Second, they are play based. These activities are very productive and meaningful to the child. We cannot make a child sit and then ask them to take out this peg and keep it 10 times and 100 times with the right hand and left hand. No, it doesn't have any meaning for that. These activities should be very productive. And these sensory diet, as I tell you, these are specific group of activities which we choose particularly for that child. And they are to be delivered at specific times of the day. Now, this person should be available with the child for that number of hours, if it is thrice in a day or 4 times in a day. Then we distribute our work. Like, for example, we have to give sensory diet to a child who has got oromotor problem. A lot of sensitivity towards oromotor system, not allowing to brush, not eating different kinds of food, very resistive, very closed mouth, open mouth, not allowing anybody to touch on the face. So we will choose this child for a sensory diet, and we will give just few set of activities, just 5 activities to the parent, and they have to choose just 2 activities. So during brushing session, we can tell them, you do these 2 activities. Then child comes to the school. Every time teacher gets an opportunity to take the child, a helper gets opportunity to get the child to the toilet or bathroom, they do these 2. Then child is coming to OT sessions, then the therapist does it twice. Then again the teacher does it. And when they go back home, parents does it. So the load is distributed properly. Child gets this sensory diet and then the results are seen. So this is about sensory diet.
And how about the home programming?
So about home programs, these are basically given to children during vacation time. So what they will do when they are on vacation, not going to school, not attending anything during summer vacation or even Diwali vacations. And these home programs are basically activities of daily living activities, which we want to make children independent in their self-care. So these activities are related to that only. So once we do activity analysis for that particular activity, for example, say brushing. Child is not independent in brushing, though he is 8 years and 9 years. Then after detailed assessment, we see to it what is the problem which is interfering in child becoming independent in brushing. Whether it is sensory issue, whether it is fine motor issue, whether it is sequencing issue. And then we develop our intervention. We meet with the parents and we explain them with the program, with the therapy video, with the pictures, with the sequence. And then they have to follow this at home. That is what we call as home program. So basically these are activities of daily living which we want parents to participate. And here again, we like to distribute the work. So if mother is busy, the father does. If father is not there, then the caretaker does. I remember in school, many of the times when both the parents are working, they say, Madam, and this is the story which they tell, Madam, morning mein to itna hurry hota hai, we have to run to the school. Ki I only do all the activities. Brushing I do, I make him wear clothes, I give him a bath, and then he just comes to school for learning. But then you have to invest time in doing activities of daily living. If you do not have time, tell caretaker or the father, just 10 minutes, become partners, do brushing together, make it a fun activity. There are parents who come and tell, he doesn't know how to spit. So make it a game. Let's both of us take water and how long we can throw. So these are small interventions which we have to bring into their mind. their whole aim is to make the child ready and send the child to the school so that he is able to read and write. But no, the foundation of learning will come through sensory activities, and these ADL activities are sensory based activities. When child is independent in these activities, automatically the academic learning, if it has to come, it will come. So like that we plan home based activities.
So yeah, you spoke about caregivers.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the role that they play? Because we always talk about parents.
Yes.
We have never got this on the platform. Yes, there are a lot of caregivers as well. So how do you go about that?
Even like we have helpers at school. There are children who are not independently toilet trained. They don't know how to clean themselves. They are not able to indicate. So one of the days we have called in our school all the helpers together, and we have told them ki this is the child. He will be coming in the toilet. You are going to help him, but these are the steps you have to follow. The first step is putting pants down, sitting on the toilet seat, whatever. These are the steps. So we make them learn this. And in school, we have trained all of them. So use toilet time as a learning time. Even if the child is being taken care by the helper at home, we ask mother to please bring the helper to us so that we explain them ki you do not do, though you are a helper, you do not make the child bathe completely or make him wear clothes. You follow these steps. These are the steps. These are the pictures. And you have to assist like this. So we are training the helpers also. And as I told you, the more the merrier. It is not, the workload is not only on mother. Ki if she has to train her child to wear clothes, it has to be if she is around, then only thing will be taken carry forward. No. There are people who are allocated different work, and then the rehabilitation work is very smooth.
Ma'am, what are your views on this? So it needs a village to take care of a child on the spectrum. So how do you think?
So basically, as she rightly pointed out, the support system is very important. The support system is the pillar. And we're all blessed with a good support system. Educators at home and the caregivers. Even I have a caregiver. This morning, she was telling me a very, very important perspective. Like, my son was pretty unsettled yesterday. We had a long day, unsettled. And I said, he's had a beautiful day. And suddenly there was this thing. I was amazed when she said, eclipse affects them.
Oh, okay.
And she told me, what is important is we have to just calm down. We should not react. So even caregivers, they learn patterns because they are with them. And she tells in Marathi that Asa mulana kai nahi manaitsa.
So
he will come down automatically. See, we are stocking ourselves workshops and conferences and stuff. But the knowledge which they have, and I remember when he was in Godrej school, he was extremely hyperactive. I'm only taking this as an example. He was running all over. And today he tells me why he ran and what he did. And he gives me why he did that. Yeah, he talks about it. And I said, why did you run? So one Pushpa lady, she came to me. She said, Tumi yoga karte ka? I said, nahi, yoga karta hu. She said that there is this blood supply which is deficient. So make them stand ups and down so that the blood flows, the gushes in, and there is enough oxygen and stuff. So coming back to caregivers, they are the pillars for these children. See, moms and dads, they go to work.
Exactly.
Which is necessary. In today's times, we have professionals who are parents, the caregivers. But the way they respond, their relationship, the caretakers and the child's relationship, it's see to believe. Exactly. The child may show a tantrum with the parent, but not the caretaker.
Correct.
Like they know this lady or whoever, the man or the woman, is something I can follow on anytime. They have that insight thing, And I don't know, for obvious reason, they may not be as educated as us. They have that thing in them which is compassion. And the caregivers are pillars. And today, most of the children need them.
Yes.
And I feel only happy that such people are accessible for them, because without them, the system will not function.
And the job of the therapist is to empower these population.
Like even diet, what she says. Sensory, apart from sensory diet, even the diet, the food. Because these children are so smart, they can access anything, anytime.
So they should be trained as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and they learn it all. They learn it all. They see patterns. And, they record everything in the mind.
Because
we
they are
record
so
everything
closely
in the book.
with them
Associated,
day in,
yeah,
out.
day in and day out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they take ownership also. They say, they
Yeah,
get
they-
so
they
close,
will
they get
do
so bonded with the child that it's amazing to see the affection and their relationship. Of course, they also go through those turbulent days and all that, but they take it in their stride. And I feel the children are really lucky to get support.
And I just want to share one experience of mine. I was working in a special school. There was this child on spectrum, and he had some other issues also. The moment he used to come to school, he used to run to the toilet. And 2 hours, he just used to be in toilet. We tried everything possible to get him engaged. Please come to the classroom, come to the circle time, and then let's follow this routine. Yeah, you directly come to the OT room. But the moment there was the slightest thought, he used to just run to the toilet. Then even teacher said ki what to do. Most of the time he's sitting in the toilet. Then we thought of calling that helper, and we told him ki okay, we will train him here. He was not ADL trained. So we will train him for cleaning after toilet, and we will make him wear his clothes. So for 2 months, same routine was followed. We allowed him to go to the toilet, and then the helper, we told the steps you have to follow this. And after 2 months, the helper told him now he's independent in cleaning after toilet. And so we have to use these opportunities which child is with. But then there are few other issues, and then we had to change the school. But what he learned from that school, from that environment, was he became independent in cleaning after toilet and getting his extremities dressed.
And even my son, he will first call my caretaker and tell where he is, when he travels independently. And he will call only her. So if I need an update about my son, I just need to call her.
He's more attached.
They develop that bonding.
And they develop that
Bonding. Say, Maushi, Mikade hai, me yenar, Mikade. She says the way he updates me, none of y'all update me. Even yesterday, her mobile was some technical problem. He fixed it.
Wow.
He fixed it. She says, when he's there, I don't have to worry. So, that...
Correct. It's beautiful to see
It's
such
beautiful.
kind of relation.
It's beautiful
Yes.
to see.
Wow.
And for them also, it's a first-hand experience, right?
Yeah.
They may not have such special needs in their family, but they learn so much about the abilities of the children.
Yeah.
That is another thing which needs to be very, very, this mindset has to change. Because when everybody say, usko ye problem hai, I think our focus should be on enhancing the abilities.
Exactly.
And then the language changes, like how he rightly said, wo kar sakta hai. So with their interaction, they also see what they can do and how much minimal support they will eventually require. So yeah, it's very important to empower and enhance their independence. And that is where we are in the space of, building skill sets to optimize independence. They may start with maximum support, and we eventually make it minimal support. So that is where we want to reach.
So yes, you also do a vocational training. So our main aim is like these children with all their therapies, with all of that. Once at a stage, they need to be independent. So yes, you all do the vocational training. So how do you all train them for their future, and so that they can get independent?
When they are doing this schooling, they are put into various situations. That there are lots of activities we do in school, like art activities, diya painting, making ornaments, and then block printing. We do cooking sessions, there is a pottery man who comes making pottery, and we see what are the things which a child is interested in and can do it beautifully. See, having interest and then having that skill to do are two different things. So, and where we can fit him, and accordingly, we proceed to provide them with this training.
Excellent. You do tie-ups with schools, right? You spoke about it earlier. So you all do tie-ups with schools where you all go for some OT sessions, or
No, tie-ups in school means when parents ask us, we are living in this area, can you help us identify some school? So we generally know these are in this area, this is an inclusive school, or there is a coordinator whom I know, he's there and then it is like that kind of coordination.
So yes, ma'am, we would really be very happy to know about achievements of Ramnath.
Well, what strikes me immediately, the first miracle, I would call it, was his admission to Xavier's college. I was just reading a paper where I encourage him to learn, both my children, and I know his his talent. He's very good in music. He was non-verbal, and today he's a singer.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was non-verbal, and again, he was non-verbal at 3. Today he's an accomplished singer. And the day I read the Midday Voice Academy, he'll keep asking me, what are you reading? What are you reading? I said, there is this Voice Academy course. There's something new which will be useful to you. So then I make it a point to be honest about him being gifted. Yeah, because when I use the word gifted, they think of abilities. But when we say special needs, they don't know how to help. Yeah. So I happened to talk to Vaishali in Xavier's, and she said, can you just bring him? Yeah. I said, Xavier's is a very prestigious institution. I know there's inclusion. I don't want admission. I want to come and see, and y'all take the call whether y'all want to take him. So when I went there was Noel sir, who's RJ of All India Radio, who's retired now. And he was sitting, and I took him for 5 minutes. And my son asked, what are you telling him about me? I said, it's about your talent. Yeah, because every day the previous experiences is being that he's autism. I said, no, Ramnath, I have told him about what all you can do. Yeah. And sir said, just send him. And he said, he's amazing. Can he travel alone? I said, he can do everything alone. I said, let him be, but he's different. Be firm. Yeah, he is different. But I want him with the students, and he talked in that.
Oh,
and
wow.
From there, RJ sir, Noel sir tells me in every batch, I talk about this boy. Yeah, so he had the voiceover. There have been times when he was not accepted by private people. But here today, he's got a Voice Academy artist. But there again, opportunities. You know, he knows where to put his audio and all that. And he's very passionate about Hindi. And he reads. Now he wants to be a newsreader. So I gave him those experiences. That was the first achievement. Then the second was when he got admitted in one of the music colleges in Chennai. Yeah, I wanted to give him life learning experience, independent living. So there is the Swarnabhumi Academy, which is in Chennai. I traveled all the way, and there they were engineering graduates, IIT graduates who wanted to pursue music. And I spoke to this director, and there was a blind boy also, and he got admission, residential.
Wow.
So they said, can he stay? I said, he needs to learn to do it. Yeah, I said, I'm in the city. For anything, I will come back. And it is near Mahabalipuram. He had to stay alone in the room, adhere to the canteen timings and all that. Emotionally, he was unsettled. But I said, here, everybody have come for music. And he used to take around. And I had calls from his classmates, wish we had his brain.
Wow.
Because there is something called pitch perfect, which only 1 in a million have. And my son had that. So they used to use that of his to teach other children. Because if somebody started, he will tell them, no, your pitch is wrong. Start this. And he would pass by the college and he will go and tell a boy, you've not sung properly. Sing like this. So they would say, we passed because of him. Yeah. And in Xavier's, it was fun. I used to tell the students, support him and make sure, that he is safe and all, because Xavier's, it's in town. So then they used to say, we love Ramnath because he helped us. Then he would keep a track of who bunked the lecture. And he introduced me to a boy who said he's a boy who got suspended. And that's how he used to introduce me. So coming back to his classroom, the friends used to say, we had fun, ma'am, today, because we didn't want this lecturer to teach us. So the lecturer came in and they made him sing. And the lecturer also enjoyed. So they had these fun moments. So Xavier's was amazing. And when I went for this voice academy, the director of the department asked, what does he do? And I said, no, he is a special child. He's a gifted boy. And we're looking at only correspondence. He said, why correspondence? I said, he's never been to a college or anything. That's for you to write his fate.
Oh.
Then there's 12 languages. Then he made him write in all the languages. And he wrote in all the languages.
So he knows 12 languages.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So he writes in all the languages. And they said, get him here. And that journey was beautiful. And at the end of the graduation, when I said, I'm Ramnath's mom, my son, a gifted adult, is here, the principal said, we know Ramnath very well. And after that, the principal went and did a course in inclusion.
Oh my God.
He said, we should thank Ramnath because I have learned because of him. So the main thing is giving, impacting, that these children have abilities. Yeah, that was one. And then there was this music program, Saregama, which was in Z. So Komal from Z called that we want, a child with autism who can sing. This is way back. And we said, okay, let us put. And I had a fracture. But I said, no, I have to come with him because I can't leave him alone. And this was an Andheri film shoot. And he had this whole experience of being with everybody. And the topper was his partner in the room. Whoever won that ball, all that. And Shankar Mahadevan, he's my friend. We were together in college. He was a judge. Shankar Mahadevan, Sajid Wajid and Ram. And they were the judge. But I never told Shankar anything. I said, y'all let people see your talent. And he sang Shankar's song, Mitwa from that movie. And Shankar stood up. And he said, Ramnath, you're very lucky. I know your mother, but she never came and called me and said, my son is participating. You're so filled with talent. And even today when Shankar asked me, how's Ramnath? So it is all about acknowledging that talent. Today everybody asks me, how's that boy? I mean, he's so talented. So he's on YouTube. He sings all genres.
Oh.
Yeah, he sings English, he sings classical, he sings all genres. He sings in all the languages, Arabic, and he sings. He participates in places. He sung in Xavier's their festival, their annual festival. So everybody, I'm happy. It was not about the winning point. It is about recognizing talent. And they didn't say he's autistic. They said, oh my God, he's a talented boy. These words mattered to me the most.
Exactly.
Even today it matters. And the recent one is, he said, I want a driving license.
Woo! Now this is interesting.
And I said, okay, let me learn this process. And so we did it abroad, and they have a very detailed psychological assessment, very stringent rules. So my husband was based in Dubai and it failed. But my boy never gives up. And he knows I will go any extent for it. So I went to RTO. So Rashmi ma'am's husband, Mr. Nikit, he knows he's an automobile person. So he said, no, let's be honest about the fact. And we had parents who have not disclosed that we had a parent whose girl is in the kinetic Honda and all. They didn't disclose anything. So I spoken to them. He said, "Aap kyun bol rahe ho? Usko ye problem hai." I said, "No, it's not about safety, right? So two-wheeler is okay." He said, "No, ma'am, I want my license. I said, okay, then let's go to RTO. So we went to RTO and he had to fill, and they said, bring this, Aadhaar and disability certificate and all. And we went. And he's got used to carrying his disability with him confidently. Yeah, he doesn't feel bad. A very, very confident boy. And there was this man who was helping up with the formalities. So he asked, Ramnath, he said, hey paper ka hai? I said, Apankcha certificate. And he looked down. He said, Hala kai zala? And then he asked, hey Pura, tula kai problem hai? He said, Mala kuch problem nahi hai, mere ko license chahiye. And that. So then I met the RTO officer. He was very open.
Wow.
He said, please get his fitness certificate. So I would be happy to, I said, it's his dream. So we went to Shatabdi Hospital and we did a battery of tests, where everybody looked at him and they said his hearing is okay, but I completed it, but he deserves an opportunity.
Wow.
If you all don't support, I said, I will never leave my son on the road alone. I have a license, but I don't drive in Bombay. But his dream is to have a license. Yeah. Give him that opportunity. If you all don't give opportunity, who will? I said, my son's life is, very precious to me. And so is somebody else's life also. Yeah. लेकिन जो बच्चा एक माँ को पूछेगा कि मेरे को ये चाहिए, any parent, they will go all out to fulfill their child's dreams. Correct. Right? Then the ENT, then this one, and they would look like this, and they would wonder. And then there was this beautiful experience of this lady doing physical examination. And he said, you're not supposed to touch me because my mother has taught me not to touch anybody. I said, no, that's required. So then he passed all the examinations. Then he went to Haji Ali. That is where they give the learner's license. And even that man was amazed. And thanks to my staff, Aniket sir, I always tell my teachers, y'all are the voice for our children. Always talk about eligibility, opportunity. And the gentleman there, our sir persuaded him and he said, just talk to him for 5 minutes. And then even if you say no, it's fine. So Sandeep sir, he was amazed at his knowledge of automobiles.
Oh my God.
As a little boy, in this car parking, he would look into the car. These are the savant skills which kids with autism have.
Correct.
So they look into the car, he'll come home and he'll draw the engine. Huh? These are the savant skills. See, which is not, it is very unique, right? Usse kya hoga? That's the thing. Now, what if you want an engine? Fine. So then he said, isko kitna knowledge hai? So he spoke to Ramnath. He gave him the simulation learning. And he said, you come for your learner's license on 7th of November.
Oh, wow.
So I feel I've created a message.
Yes.
I told the coach, tell him I will never leave. And I didn't want to go as a parent. Then even the coach said, मेरे को महालक्ष्मी station में मिलेगा. He said, मिलेगा, मैं train में आता हूँ. And he went to Mahalakshmi. And one thing, he's very, very wise. He doesn't like to spend money. Yeah. He always likes to keep his money in place and increase his balance. And also another achievement as thanks to my sister-in-law who wanted to help him. He's learned financial markets.
Wow.
I just told her, teach him slowly. Because I have a family of bankers. But he didn't get an opportunity in a bank. I said, your uncles did this, so I'll have a private tutor. And my sister-in-law, Geeta, she taught him. And today she tells me he's a financial analyst, which I can't believe. Even yesterday, they were together and he said, this share should be bought, this share. So everything is so hidden in them that we don't discover the abilities.
10 human talents in one son of yours. Oh my God,
but
you're so blessed.
Unfortunately, Dolly, when he goes out, people still use the word but. That but
has to go.
Which will eventually happen.
Yes,
and that is why maybe that is the reason he says, I don't want to work anywhere. I want to start up my own. I want to start up my own. I want to be the boss. Because you don't know, they have internalized so many things within them. You don't know. They don't speak up, right? Yeah, another thing he also tells me is that he wants to get married.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Does he have any?
No.
Okay.
He at one stage he said, Xavier's, it was amazing. At 12 o'clock, one girl called me and said, I want to wish Ramnath.
Oh, how sweet.
And
Nice.
he gave the cryptic reply, this is sleeping time, you're not supposed to disturb. The typical autistic,
Yeah.
he said, then they all wanted to come and they all came and gave him a big bash. And yeah, it was amazing. And for me, it is all about this. Be it Ramnath, be it any child. If somebody else looks at its abilities, that is the day we have won and, made a difference. And now in Udan, our vocational center, we take them out.
Fantastic.
We don't get experts. We have experts on board who train them. But recently we had this wonderful experience where Sahyog Bank manager came. So they invited us over for Independence Day. That is inclusion. That is inclusion. And we said, please give them an opportunity. And they called. They said, Sabko leke aao. And that's it. We don't want to shelter them.
Exactly.
People can't come in, we can go out.
Yes.
So they went to all the Ganpati pandals. So this is what we do because honestly parents find it very difficult.
Yes.
And when everybody go together, it's the
They enjoy
community
it.
spirit and all that. And now Ramnath works in my school. He helps the students. I tell him, you were like this. Now is a chance where you have to help them.
Help them.
So he helps them.
Wow.
And I tell him, Ramnath, everybody want to become like you. Help them. So he does that.
Fantastic. You don't even know what kind of a message you're sending across to the society.
Yeah.
It's giving them hope.
He's on
and-
Facebook. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. But he's still knocking doors for opportunity. But I tell him, keep knocking. You'll get it one day or the other.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
With the kind of talent and everything that he has, definitely
He
something
will, but
huge
then,
is in store for him.
but then the pathway is still, that open acceptance.
Is what we have to work together for.
The percentage of can increase and they can create a safe environment. It'll be comfortable
Yes.
for them. Easy is it's a very different word.
Comfortable.
Comfortable for them. And I think in these workplaces, there are so many Ramnaths. I've got a parent who just called me last week. He's mind blowing. His CV, my eyes only popped out. But they're still looking for an opportunity for him. He's from Ashoka University. He wants to work as a lecturer.
Oh, wow.
If you see the CV, it's so long, that boy. Where's the opportunity? So we parents are sailing in a boat where we are still looking at the light for our children. And
Lots of work that needs to be done.
and pillars like them,
Yes.
they are people, we are all in one system. And that's the reason myself and Rashmi started this center. That accessibility, provide holistic everything, because I have gone places for therapy. I said, I don't want parents to have this hopping. Put everything under one system. And today we have successfully operating for the 15th year. And just this morning,
Fantastic.
every day I share a dream. I say, Rami, I don't say hello. I say, Rashmi, good news. This is how we begin our conversation, because I believe in that universal attraction.
Yeah.
The manifestation. I said, Rashmi, can we just start a residential in Chengbur in a very small way?
Yes.
Small steps, we'll do it. So every day we are talking our dreams, and our only dream is to provide, space where parents are happy that their children are safe.
Fabulous.
Educational is okay.
It's okay. It will.
And it is happening. It is happening.
It is
Educational is
happening.
happening. But again, as you
Maybe
said,
we are the chosen
residential.
ones for that.
Yes. Residential, I really feel, because we have seen these parents so closely.
Yeah.
The amount of suffering. If there is one child who is differently able in one family, the whole family
Yes.
is just.
But in South, I don't know about India, Mumbai, in South there are gated communities giving provision for PWD. So there are houses with this structural changes.
It's
for
not
them.
yet there in Mumbai. We
It's
have
not
done
there
a
in Mumbai.
research. Yes.
So yeah, very soon. Maybe
Yes.
3-4 years down the line.
I think you all will be the pioneers.
Yes.
God is great.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So thanks to our children who have taken down this one. Ramnath is with Ramnath I've traveled so much, met so many beautiful people. Today we are talking about him and his achievements and the dreams of so many parents like me.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Yeah, and of course the siblings. I think that is one thing. The life of the siblings is also not easy.
Yes.
We are talking about child with special
child and
needs and all
parents.
that, but the journey of the sibling, you need to have a different podcast
Yes.
for that. Like how you've called a professional and a parent, you need to address it as a sibling also. Call a sibling to speak. I think you should have a sibling show. We've not touched there.
So many facets,
Perspectives.
that have to be
And
still
together,
touched.
maybe the child
We have
and the
panel
sibling together.
speakers, Dolly.
Yes.
Kitna sun liya?
Kitna sun liya? Ab it's time for
Panel
action.
mein. Call siblings. Because they are going to be the tomorrow for our children.
Correct. Okay, ma'am. So after this extensive therapy, these children get, and all these life skills that you give them, suppose still the child is not responding. So how do you cater to those kind of children?
See, we have to understand there is certain kind of limitation. There are some children who have limited capacity, and these limitations could be in terms of neuromuscular. These limitations could be sensory. These limitations could be anything. We have to respect that. And to doubly support that, I would like to share my experience. There was this child, a cerebral palsy child, who's a quadriplegic. Quadriplegia means when all 4 limbs are involved. He didn't had even neck control, but he's coming to school. So when we did his assessment, we helped him with some kind of a seating chair. So instead of just lying down, he's now sitting and interacting and looking into environment. He had this habit of hand to mouth. So initially we thought, ki if he has hand to mouth, why not use this to drink water independently to use? So that was our goal to begin with, to start with. So we started with all kind of therapy and everything. And he was on a liquid diet. That too in a reclining position, full reclining position. We started with therapy. We worked extensively for 1 year, 2 years. Then we understood that this child is not going to even take the food to the mouth. So for him, the maximum level of independence possible was from the supine position, he was able to take feed in semi-reclining position. From the liquid diet, he came to semi-solids. His health improved and he became quite alert. So each child, I want to say, has a potential and there is a limited potential we can expect. See, when you say there is a cancer and it is in a tertiary stage, though there are n number of therapies, surgeries and treatment available, but that is our condition. Beyond this point, this child is not going to improve. We do not stop the therapy, but we try to help that child to reach the maximum independent level possible. So that should be our aim of therapy, to help child reach to a maximum independence levels possible.
And giving them that experience.
Yes.
So we have this adult who's quadriplegic, and they trained him to be a foot artist.
Oh, wow.
So he's a foot artist. And if you go to see, there are so many. A girl without limbs, she keeps a brush in her mouth and she's a painter. So it is about how much you empower them and give them the experience of achievement.
Use their abilities
Yes.
to enhance.
Enhance and give them that sense of achievement that this I can which you have put is what you need them to feel that I can.
Correct. Is why we have designed the USA ICANN. We have moreover, we're having a lot of autistic individuals who are going to talk. So we have the first day dedicated only to these individuals who are on the spectrum, and we want them to speak out and what they want, what they feel, and what they want to put across to the world. So yeah, that's our aim as well.
And it's with everybody.
Exactly.
Here we are specifically talking about autism, but I think it's applicable to all of us.
All of us, yes.
All of us,
Definitely.
yeah, right.
Definitely.
So
yes, my last question to both of you would be, what is, do you see 10 years from now? How do you see this world with these children on the spectrum? Yes, ma'am, to start with you.
Yeah, I feel the coming next 10 years are going to be very, very crucial. Because this is the time when they are completing their schooling, they are becoming graduates, and they are coming out in society. So inclusion is one thing which I am looking forward to in next 10 years. I feel inclusion happens in loop. The first loop is a family loop. We have crossed that. There was a time when people used to feel shy to take these children out. But now we see these children everywhere. We see them in malls, we see them in hotels, in theatres. So we have crossed that loop. Now the second loop is school loop, where we are seeing inclusion is happening. Mainstream children are completing their 12th standard. Inclusion in postgraduate level, graduation level, that is also happening. As I shared, 2-3 of my kids are doing that. Now our job is to include them into workplace, to include them into the society. Then the word inclusion has a real meaning. But these 10 years are very crucial. So our request to educators, to government institute is this, to look into these matter, develop some policies, open opportunities where these people can come out and work. And when we have a special child in classroom, it is a twofold benefit. The child who is special is already benefiting, but other children, they are learning empathy, sharing. And nowadays we have a nuclear family situation where there is a single child. I'll share one experience, very beautiful experience, which happened with my child, though I have 2 kids. But the younger one, when he was in 4th or 5th grade, one day I was just going through his notebook. So there was a note saying incomplete work. So I asked him why your notebook is incomplete. He told me that day he was helper to one of the special child. Teacher was writing very fast on the blackboard and erasing very fast. मैं तो किसी भी फ्रेंड से नोटबुक लेके कंप्लीट कर सकता हूँ, पर उसकी नोटबुक कंप्लीट करना ज़रूरी थी. And he was writing notes for her. I felt so proud. So these are the twofold benefits. So keeping them in society in each and every loop is very important, and it is going to benefit all of us.
They are teaching us.
Yes.
To be empathetic.
they are the teachers.
They are teaching us.
We only have the labels teachers, but they teach us something new every day.
Yes, ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, so rightly she pointed out the different ecosystems, the family, the school, the organization. And at an organizational level now, the social system is all about the advocacy of gender equality, right? Men and women. And when it comes to inclusion of disabilities, it is very minimal, 2%. And in this population, 2% is very negligible. So there are a lot who will still not have no access to opportunities. So like she mentioned, the government policy, can an organization, if they are going to be, like I'm only giving an example of E&Y or something, which have policies fixed, it is in place. So can they have the structural design modified for the adults with disabilities? Because in any case, it's a high-story building. They can have one floor for the disabilities with their, acoustics, where they're going to contribute into the workspace and they can be included. And also the wages.
Correct.
Also the wages. My son interned in Deloitte, but there is a discrimination when it comes to disabilities. Though the output is the same, there is discrimination in the wages. So if that can be, addressed and taken up by somebody who's really aware and who wants to make a contribution, it's not making a contribution, I wouldn't say that, but they have right to live with dignity, right to employment, right to education. And if we are going to treat them on par, it's an amazing thing. And that is where we want to go. And yes, we want to, in our the vision of me and my director, is to have a residential setup.
Yes, is what I.
Because the parents are growing. She said nuclear setup, and the parents need to work till their retirement. We're growing old, the adults are growing. So then it's like a hostel for the regulars. So we are wanting to set up a residential where they will be employed and they will learn to live independently. With support, of course, with minimal support. So maximize independence, maximize employability opportunities. It's all about maximizing opportunities for the people with determination. And if the society can take it up and support, it'll be a beautiful place. Instead of exclusion, which is right now, it'll be inclusion.
In a true sense. What a beautiful session and amazing insights. And
I just want to, I want
Definitely.
to
Add one.
share one, a parent, like how her son did that. There was a parent whose child had maybe a kid with disabilities. We don't know what it, the stigma is not, or the diagnosis is not important. He's seen his parents helping people, and that came automatically to him. And the boy said, I want students with disabilities for my birthday party.
Oh, lovely.
She hosted that.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like any regular, this one. And it was a beautiful space.
Lovely.
So that is inclusion at a very, very, early stage.
Early stage, yeah, that's what you can call it.
Yeah. So a lot can be done with acceptance, with, a different mindset shift. And thank you so much, Dolly, for giving us this opportunity to share what we do and, of course, make a difference in society.
The pleasure, to be very frank, is all ours. We are more than honored to have you both. And y'all are doing so much for these children.
There's a lot more which we need to do. It's a long road.
Yes. And we pray that all what have y'all thought, your visions, they come into existence.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
with this widespread,
Yes.
this is going to be going online.
Definitely.
And a lot
We'll
of them
make
is
sure
going to hear
this
our message.
spreads. Yes.
Yeah, hear our message.
So that your message does go across
Yeah.
to all the people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.